Hunters, how is it going? We are back with a brand new episode of CueBall's Bearded Rambles. Now, today is the day where the Welsh Wrestling Legend and the self-proclaimed greatest Welsh Wrestling Heavyweight Champion is on. Ladies and gentlemen, Hunters, I give you Mean Tommy D.
I tear the skin from the bone just to feel you.
What's happening, brother?
Not much, man. I'm all good. How are you? After all my nagging, you are finally on.
Yes, yeah. Well, you know, it's got to be done somehow. It's the first ever podcast and video I have done. I've talked about my career and all that. To be honest, I was always a bit, but I thought to myself, I done all right, I haven't done too bad, so I thought, why not,
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's something I'm interested in. It's something I know a lot of people are interested in hearing as well. So, so should we get into the questions?
Yeah, for sure. One, fire away, pal.
So, do I go for the cheesy intro or do I just go straight into the questions?
Whatever suits you, really, brother.
Right. We'll go for the minor cheesy. So, Tommy, everybody has a story, and I love to hear it. So, for the dozens and dozens watching at home, Tommy, how and why did you get into wrestling?
Well, I got to be honest. When I was a kid, I used to love. I first got brought up on British wrestling, on ITV, Giant A-Stacks, Belfast Blues, Fit Finley, as you know, Skull Murphy, Tony Sinclair, Mal Sanders, all these fantastic guys, massive Skull Murphy, all guys like this. And then when my parents had cable, I went to the American wrestling then, watched that as well, the old WWF, as they say, people like Macho Man, Hulk Hogan, was all, Piper, Greg Valentine, Roddy Piper, Roddy Piper, Tito Santana, they were all my favourites as a kid, when One Man Gang, another one, first one I took notice of as well, But I just think, I got hooked on it really as a kid, and that's all I ever done was watch it really, when I could get a chance, whether it was a Saturday afternoon or whether it was a Saturday night, Yeah,
no, cool. So where did it all start for you? Where did you do training? Just where did it start for you?
Well, to be honest, I can remember the old Wow magazines back in the day. There was adverts for NWA Hammerlock, but at the time, my parent, he wasn't really flush, so to speak, with cash and this, that, and the other. So it was more of a, poor background type thing. So I always wanted to do that when I was younger, but I think I got the opportunity. What I'd done, I went to see Chad Collier, believe it or not, who later on, he was an all-star and he was on a few shows with him, So that's quite mad, really, isn't it? But I went to a show and then I met K-Man pissed. Well, I wasn't pissed, he was pissed. And I spotted him in a thing, so he just got chatting, So next thing you know, I went to a few PPW shows, just to watch now, but it was the Chad Collier show that really got me, and I thought myself, I can do this, I thought myself, I can, I was been an athlete all my life, football, boxing, all sort of things, so I thought myself, I'm going to give this a try, and it was me, Bassy, Bassy, obviously, top Bassy, but we went training then to Cardiff in Cathays, and the rest is history, so, and then I had, my debut in Celtic. I mean, everyone got to start somewhere, Yeah. So, obviously, but 1 second, obviously, and, with that, then I trained all the time, and then we made our debut then in Cardiff. Which looking back, I look back myself and I not cringe, but you know what it's like. Some people, when you first start, you think you're better than where you are. Do you know what I mean? But I look back at some of my old matches, my first ever matches, and you could tell you were green, and you could tell, what. But I enjoyed it at that time, and my goal then was always to try and get the PPW, which is now Welsh Wrestling, because Welsh Wrestling is the promotion in Wales, as far as I'm concerned. Well, everyone knows Wales had Orig Williams at one point, established, he was well renowned in Wales, and now Salem Ravenhill now. So that's the only place really, to actually work, realistically speaking, to have, good wages and things like that,
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I was speaking to somebody the other day about it, and I think that as a goal of mine, that is where I'd like to be.
Yeah.
So for me, get to Welsh Wrestling. Who knows? May happen, may not happen. But
Hey, never give up. I've seen lads, they just turn up. Some people just show. It's all about showing faces as well. And some people out with the ring and whatever. And I seen, I won't mention on it, but he got a chance then. Short and then bump for the bump, and then he was in for a bit. Like so, you know what I mean. So it's about keeping the face out there, really. Like.
Yeah, definitely. The main thing is to have fun. That's
exactly, yeah, exactly, definitely. I think once that goes, if you do it for just a coin, you shouldn't really be doing it because that's dangerous, and that's when you get hurt a bit more, because you're a bit more lackadaisy and but you've got to give 110% every show. You've got to work a show like if it's your last. I mean, punters are paid money to, good money, are doing cash. Hunter's a good show,
Yeah, definitely. Sorry, you froze there a little bit, but I get the gist of what you were saying. So let's talk about the first few years of your career.
Right.
Like you said, you was in Celtic Wrestling, because that's where you started. You've also been in Pro EW or Evolution Wrestling.
Yeah.
All Star, like you said, I think you tried promoting. So
yeah,
let's hear a bit about them.
What Welsh Wrestling as well, or like Pro EV, NWA Amlock, eventually years later I went to there. I went with Tank, to be honest with you as well, when I first started in Celtic, obviously 2006, you think, like I said, you think you're better than where you are. But when I was there, it was, and this is what people got to be careful of, I'm thinking back, all experience is not necessarily good experience, but it's still experience nevertheless, if that makes sense. Because you'll go in there with someone at the same skill level as you, and you're not really learning much. It's all about, you should really be going in with experienced guys, so you'll learn a lot more. And yeah, exactly. So when I was in Celtic, and I said, I'm not knocking Celtic, I appreciate everything, all of the things I done, but it was pretty much like the blind leading the blind, and I went in with a few experienced guys, don't get me wrong, and that's when you learn a bit more. But I think when I started establishing myself was Welsh Wrestling. When I got the PPW, that was the goal, and I eventually, I'm quite fortunate, and thinking back, when in Welsh Wrestling, to actually work with guys with a lot of experience. And for example, I'm very fortunate to work with guys like James Mason. I learned absolutely loads off him, in front of a live audience, and just learned a lot from a lot of good guys. I mean, there's a lot of good wrestlers in, Welsh Wrestling. You had Bison Broady, you had Big Grizzly, you had Stevie Starr, you had Big Titan, John the Machine Titan, you had Yestin Reese, you had who else we had through the door? We've had a lot. James Mason, Big Jog. You just learn off the experienced guys, Yeah, so there's one. And you know what, as well, sometimes behind the curtain does help as well, because I remember I was up in Crewe and I was wrestling Frankie Sloan. Right. And I thought, match of the night, good match. And then I seen bit of curtains, and Ravenhill said to me, watch this match now. And I tell you what, it was Steve Gray on with Mal Sanders, right? From the old World of Sport guys, you know, and the reaction he had, it's all about reaction. The reaction he had was unbelievable. He just tore the house down, and he hardly, you know what I mean? It was unbelievable, like. You had to be there to believe it, like, you know. But going from... like I said, Welsh Wrestling, I mean, the names go on, you know, if I missed out there, he went a wild boy, you know, people like that, Flash Morgan, you know, they're all WWE now and what have you. And, you know, I'm just very fortunate and grateful to actually work and travel with a lot of these guys, you know, because that's how you learn, you know. You learn on a road type thing, you know, as you know. But like I said, you know, some people, and I feel sorry for some people because they tend to like work with people they're not fortunate to work with experienced guys, and they think they know best, and at the time they think they've had a good man. When then sometimes, you know what I mean? It's like a blind lead blind, and I get that from when I first started, you know. So to be honest, and then and again, I was fortunate to actually work in some fantastic, brilliant venues, you know. Fantastic venues. I was very fortunate to work for All Star as well, you know. Some of the venues there, you know, Croydon Fairfields Hall, you know, Hanley, you know, Dudley, you know, all these old famous World of Sport venues, and, you know, fantastic, you know, and on with great guys, and you're on shows, you're on with a lot of good people as well, you know. There's a lot of cast of characters backstage, good guys, and, you know, that's where you learn, you know.
Yeah, definitely. You know, obviously, when you do the training, you do learn stuff. You know, you learn how to bump, how to do the move. But I would find a lot with what you said as well. When you're on the road, when you're wrestling different people each week, every single week, night in, night out, that is the main learning. What's a learning? The main learning curve when you're in that ring. You know, because
definitely,
because in training sessions you don't get the feel of the crowd. All about the reaction, like you said, the crowd.
It's all about reaction, yeah. It's all about reaction. I mean, you see these guys, and they plan everything, you know. And I don't know why some people plan. I mean, Welsh Wrestling, they don't plan it. We just go out and do it, like, you know what I mean? But how can you react? You've got to react to the crowd, keep listening to the crowd constant, like, and bring them up and down like a roller coaster type thing, you know. Yeah. But it's like, I mean, if people like the Americans or whatever, if they plan everything, and how can they go from this? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, when the crowd is reacting, like,
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's hard to explain.
Yeah. I get what you mean. Yeah, like, I'll be honest. With the way I wrestle, you know, I plan bits, but it's not an entire match. It's like the beginning, middle, end. That's my way. That's what I'm feeling comfortable with. You know, I am getting to this stage where I'm going to just basically try and call it the ring. But that's me. You know, there are people who do plan it down to details, which, you know, it is.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of, you know, plan. You know, obviously you need to know the finish, but to be honest, too, I like I said, you know, and I've asked a word for this thing, fortunate. That's all I've said. I'm fortunate to go in there with people that know what they're doing, and you know, and just it's all about reaction, you know, and how the crowd respond, and, you know, it's all about putting on a good show. You know what I'm saying? It's all about reaction. I mean, you can like, I've seen a lot of people, you know, I don't knock, but I believe in me, I appreciate all different styles of pro wrestling, you know, where there's things, this, that, and the other. But, you know, I generally don't see that much of people working body parts no more, and, you know, what I've seen, you know, but I don't really watch much. If I watch wrestling, I only watch like old school stuff that I used to enjoy, you know what I mean, that I enjoy, or certain people where you study, like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But other than that, you never stop learning, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely. You never stop learning. That is one thing.
That's one thing in wrestling you never do, is never stop learning, like, you know?
Yeah, exactly. So let's speak about wrestling, you know, because you are the baddest motherfucker in Welsh wrestling, by my language. So let's talk about your success. You know, you have been a Welsh Wrestling Heavyweight Champion, the greatest of all time.
Of all time. I've been north and I've been south. Nobody can shut this big man mouth, brother. I've been, you know, I've been very grateful. to actually work with Welsh Wrestling. You know, I've always had work there. You know, I've earned a lot. You know, a bit of money from it. You know, you know, again, brilliant venues, fantastic. Sellouts mostly everywhere you go. I mean, that's the place to be. I mean, everyone in Wales should, if he Welsh, or even, and I got to be honest, one of the, I'm not just being biased, but it is one of the best promotions in Europe. I mean, Fulltime. Do you know what I mean? When you talk about Fulltime and how many shows a year, and I mean, you hear all these so-called top shows, and I'm not knocking them. I won't mention any, you know, names and that, but they like run like once a month or twice a month, and they all of a sudden, or 3 times a month, or maybe 4 times a month, and then they've established. But you know, Welsh Wrestling runs so many shows. It's the same as All Star. It's the same with other. There's a few, like for example, you got like WAW in England, who I believe are Fulltime, and they run a lot of shows. There's a lot of other places, you know, in England as well, and other places who run a lot, you know, but I just don't think some promotions get enough credit that they deserve, you know, because it's all about, I mean, you see some shows and some of the promoters are happy to break even, you know, so, which realistically is not, you know, it's all about making money really, isn't it, you know, but these promoters, what I'm on about, are making money, like.
Business is business, you know.
Yeah, I mean, the show like Welsh Wrestling, all stuff, people like that, you know, they all like they all run a show, they all run wrestling like a business, you know. So, and that's why I'm a big fan of as well. You know what I'm saying? Like I enjoyed myself in Pride as well. I mean, I was fortunate to, you know, share a ring with, you know, certain, you know, people like Ken Anderson, as you know, Hurricane Elms, Tommy Dreamer, you know what I mean, people like that. So, you know, you know, I've been in a ring with a lot of Americans, like, you know, and which I'm quite grateful for, and I'm quite fortunate. I do tend to sometimes I look back, like you know yourself, you was your own worst critic. Do you know what I'm saying? And I am more than anything. Like I've been a bit hard on myself, but then when I look back, I think to myself, do you know what? You did do all right. You've done really, really well, you know. And you know, you always had reaction, and you know, you always put on a show. You always like fortunate to work for some very good promotions. Like, do you know what I'm saying? But, you know, you one of Europe's best, 2 of Europe's best promotions. I've been fortunate to work for, you know. So, I mean, what can you do, innit? You know what I mean? Yeah, so you can't be too hard on myself, you know, but I'm very competitive, as you know, but, you know, I made a lot of mistakes on the way, as we all have. Don't get me wrong, you know, and I have, you know, and I've made a lot of mistakes, you know, but nobody's perfect, but you just, you know, you've got to mature as a man, you know, and...
But I'll just say, do you know what the thing is, though? It's about redeeming yourself. It's about becoming a better person in life.
100%. I mean, I'm all about positive energy, you know, and especially these days. And I mean, if you're around negative people, you're going to be negative. Do you know what I'm saying? But you got to stay away from all the bitches and all that, you know. You got to stay away from all the complainers and whiners and, you know, and things like that, you know. But it's just positive energy. That's what I'm all about, you know.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And I mean, like, I know our discussion, you know, it's all about positivity, you know. I know you've messaged me randomly saying, you know, it's about my weight loss, you know, which is really awesome, you know. I love it, you know, and I do thank you.
Oh, fair play to you. I mean, I got to be honest, right? You, like Mal Sanders said this, funny enough, right? You only get out what you put in. And that stuck with me, that has. Yeah. Even when if I go up the mountains or when I'm in a gym, you can only help yourself, so to speak. Do you know what I mean? Only you can help yourself, you know. So, and that's what I've done for myself as well, you know, to be honest with you. You know, it's all about dieting, training hard, being positive, you know, being around positive people, getting rid of negative people, you know, in your life. Because, you know, mental health is vitally important, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I congratulate you on that, because you got to keep what you're doing, you know, because it's hard. It's not as easy as people think, you know, trying to lose weight and things like that, you know, and keep yourself in shape. It's not, is it really? Like, you know, and anyone I see, and like I said, anyone I see on Facebook, you know, with his friends or people from where I'm from, and I think, well, you know, fair play to them, good on them, like, you know.
Yeah, it's like seeing you doing all stuff, you know, you going back to the gym and everything, you know. I like to sort of send you a message every now and then just to encourage you, because you do need that, don't you, friend?
Say that again, sorry, Matt.
I said, you know, when you're going to the gym, you know, you started going back to the gym, I like to send you messages, you know, just to say, you know, well done, you know, and all that stuff, you know.
Oh, sure, I appreciate it, yeah.
The positivity, it needs to flow, man. It needs to flow.
Yeah, definitely. Like, but you know, I see you got a Chris Recall shirt on, eh?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Is that the new comeback to return to her?
That's a big one.
Yeah, he's back with Alan now, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he's doing really well. It's good to see him back.
He's looking good.
Maybe down the road you'll be going against him. But, you know.
More than likely, yeah. I worked with Chris before, you know, in PPW. I think we've already worked like... And I've known Chris a long time, you know, and off and on over the years. And last time he come back, you know, he was like the Outlaw, obviously. But I think we worked once. But I worked with Chris 3 times. And I remember when in Blaengarw, I was like, I think he was one of the most, he was at the time, was one of the most experienced guys I ever went against. And I can remember the one in Blaengarw. I can't remember where the other 2 were, but the one in Blaengarw, it was decent. Like, and it was filmed as well. But I haven't seen it for ages. Obviously, I look back now and think, oh, you know what I mean? But I was the first experienced guy, one of the ones that, you know, I went in the ring, you know, at that time, like, you know. But yeah, fantastic, like.
So, going back to Welsh Wrestling. So,
yeah.
Who would you say? My light has gone off. That's really good. Anyway, hang on. There we go. I'll do. So, going back to Welsh Wrestling, all the guys who've been against, like Big Dog, James Mason, Kid Cymru, all that, who would be your favourite person to go against and why?
Oh, that's a hard question, that is. I don't know. You got Stevie Star, you got James Mason. I've had good, you know, Bison Broady, Titan, Kid Cymru. You know, it's just so many people to choose from. Really, that I've been fortunate to be in the ring with. But Big Dog is like, again, we change the styles, you know. But I'd probably say I'm going to say probably James Mason only because that I learned a lot from him. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I learned a lot, and I mean a lot with him. So one of my favourites, definitely. But that is a difficult question. Bison Broady, one of the baddest motherfuckers that ever walking the planet. You know what I mean? Great lad. Grizzly, I've shared a ring with Grizzly, you know, but I've only gone in with Grizzly once, but he's a very, very talented guy. But that's a good question. Titan, we have some cracking match. Titan again, you know. Stevie Star, I used to have some cracking matches with him, you know. Well, you know, the promoter seems to think so, and the punters seem to think so, you know. But
what about?
That's actually, I can't really answer that, to be honest, because there's so many to choose from. Do you know what I mean? And they're all in their own right good at what they do, you know. So I can't really answer that, to be honest. And I bet you disappoint me about.
No, but that's a good answer, because everybody has their own different styles. Everybody makes you work differently, and that's a good thing. If you've seen the same stuff over and over again, just won't get boring. So keeps you on your toes.
Definitely. But I've been lucky enough to win in Welsh Wrestling. I've been really lucky to work with some fantastic people, you know, and talented people, you know what I mean? You know, and you know, you learn a lot more from people like that, and they've obviously learned from me or whatever as well, you know, but, you know, it's what it is, you know. It's a great place to be, Welsh Wrestling, you know what I mean? And it is, you know, over the years, and I've had some great times there, fantastic memories. You can't take away, like, do you know what I mean?
Exactly, that's what I'm going, man. So I want to know what your thoughts are on the independent scene right now.
If I'm honest with you, and I don't sound ignorant in a way, but I don't really pay much attention to it, to be honest.
Okay.
I don't really watch, and I should really. I only see like clips or whatever and things like that. See who's doing what. But to be honest, British wrestling is very, very good. You know, it's a lot of talented people, and there's a lot of talented people that I still haven't worked in Britain that I'd like to work. You know, and there's a few promotions I'd like to, you know, go to. You know, if I could, you know. You know, but whether I'll hopefully I'll get a chance to work with those guys, you know. But at the moment, it's all right. What I've seen, it's all right. But again, I like men to look like men. You know what I mean? I don't want to really knock anyone because, you know, good on them, you know, and, you know, I don't want to like come across as one of these people knocking people because, you know, that's not even my forte, you know, I'm a positive energy, but men to look like men bruisers and, you know, in fact, there's a good question that is actually again because yeah, I think it's all right on the independent scene, depending what promotion it is. Really, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So depending on the promotion, like All Star are doing all right. You know what I think. When I last checked, and then you got like Welsh Wrestling doing great. Professional promotions, I like to call them, but you know what I mean, which they are, you know, but independent scene, you know, in Britain is all right. You know, there's a lot of talented people there. Still, like I said, I have there's people I like to work with. Still, I still got that anger, still got that desire, still got that, you know, will to want to put on a performance. But what do you think of the independent scene at the then, CueBall? I'm turning this back onto you type thing. Like.
That's all good. So in terms of what now, wrestling-wise or promotion-wise?
Promotion-wise and wrestling-wise, the wrestling
right.
as well.
Okay, so this is what I say about promotion. I think it's quite oversaturated right now.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. Certain areas.
Right, yeah. But there's always a positive to the negative, right? The positive is for the up-and-comers of this wrestling world. It's opened doors to a lot of people. There's many more opportunities for people to grow, okay? That's my views on that. Wrestling-wise, I think less flippy, tricky shit, more work in the crowd. More.
Yeah, for sure.
But that's my opinion. If people don't like it, tough. That's just the way I am. That's the
No,
way.
I agree. I like all this flippity flop shit, you know, whatever. However, I appreciate it. Don't get me wrong. And I think, you know, every show needs to have a match like that. But like I said, people are playing holes and working holes and things like that. I like, you know, things like, you know what I'm saying, working the crowd. It's all a reaction, you know, and you know what I'm saying?
I mean, do the flippy stuff, but there's a time and place.
Yeah, definitely.
Every move.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's telling a story,
like you said at the start, it's like a roller coaster. You know, you need to build them up, go down, build back up, go in, and there we go. So that's my opinion on that.
No, I agree. I agree on that. Like, you know, but also you see a lot of guys, and I think, look at them, and I think, but you were right. I see what you're saying about saturated because you do see these. Well, we like to call them. And I don't want to knock them. I'm not going to mention them, but you know, piss pot promotions where you like they just turn up from anywhere. And the thing is with these promotions, right? They book guys, which are not very good. And then, say for example, I'm just giving an example. Welsh Wrestling goes to that town, and they put on a hell of a show, whatever. And then if this show out of nowhere, the casual fan will think, "Oh, wrestling again, same thing," and then they'll see that. And then they think, oh my God, and then it gets tarnished with the same brush. Do you know what I'm saying? So then when the Welsh Wrestling comes back to run a show after that being thing, the houses drop type thing because that. But luckily for Welsh Wrestling, being established, it's like the fans, they know the Welsh Wrestling fans, so they know it's Welsh Wrestling now. But to the casual fan, what I'm trying to say is they'll only just see wrestling on the marquee, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when I was speaking to Kid Cymru about Welsh Wrestling, he said that you guys have a lot of loyal fans. So really, you don't get that problem as such, really, do you? So, which is good. It's just good, you know, which is good. Really. So my next question is about mental health.
Yeah.
I need to answer it because a lot of people can get a bit, you know, they don't speak about it. It's completely understandable. But are you happy to continue?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So, you know, I've always like to sort of spread the positivity. You know, I've always liked to try and encourage people to talk to one another when it comes to mental health. And as you know, you watch Rambles, which is something I like to do on here. So how do you deal with everyday life with mental health? In terms of like real life and in wrestling as well?
Right, good question. To be honest with you, I think, do you know what mental health? I think what you put into your body as well is vital, to be honest. because, good food, keeping your brain hydrated at all times, water, drink plenty of water. And how I deal with things, like life's good for me at the moment. I've just met someone and, it was a time in 17, 18, 19 where things were really bad for me, and I'm not trying to, deny it, the doctor gave me, I thought they had like some sort of brain damage or something, because I tend to switch off, and people be talking to me and it comes across ignorant. I don't realise he talked to me and he switched off, but then the doctor said you suffer from depression, which I was like, I'm not depressed, doc, that type of thing, like that. But he said, no, there's all different types. And then he gave me the tablets, and then it started working. But I think it's the worst thing I've done. The tablets, like when medication, I think, because doctors, they just give you medication. I think that medication could make it, do you know what I mean? Yeah. And just turn you into a monk, not with a well-sounding thing, turn you like that. But to be honest with you, the best thing I've ever done was come off medication, keep yourself fit, keep yourself training, because that's a feel-good factor, keep yourself clean. And to be honest with you, you've got to wake up every day and you've got to have that goal, like whether to, what you're going to do, because some people with depression, I understand as well, people tend to sleep a lot as well and they don't want to get up the next day. And it's such a shame. And I've had a lot of good friends die to, depression, things like that, And people should talk about it, and it's I'm glad people can talk about it now without being, because yourself, I'm a man's man, obviously, everyone knows that, but
a real
man's man, brother. But I'm not ashamed of it. So I was at first, to be honest, I couldn't handle it. I think, no way, and I'm a weak and this, that, and that I'm weak, you know what I mean? But then you realise, and these things do happen. And when I spoke to the doctor, he said it does happen to a lot of sportsmen, and it's that up down type thing, but it's just keeping your head level now at the moment, like, and stay away from like alcohol, things like that, medication, stay away from, my only advice to people who are suffering from mental health, stay away from alcohol and drugs and getting yourself in a gym all the time, and and that's how you can deal with it. Do positive things. I tell you another good thing: music, positive music, not aggressive music. I mean, it plays with your heartstrings. I know I'm very deep in music anyway, but it plays with your heartstrings, and it's nice for the mind. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, definitely, 100% makes sense. Yeah. What you said about food? Yeah, if you eat all the junk food, because in my experience, where I've been eating clean for like so many years now, and losing weight, if I normally have one day a week where I eat junk, just as a cheat meal kind of thing. The day after, I feel rotten. Mentally feel rotten because I've had rubbish in my system. But as soon as I start eating clean again, more good. Medication as well. Medication will not work for everybody. It may work for you. But medication didn't work for me either. It sent me down like a zombie.
Well, again, with medication, for that 10 years, that's when we use like that all the time. But then you got to just got to like see a doctor, and you just got to like. What works? It works at the time, and then it becomes that cycle then where you gotta you depend on it. Do you know what I mean? So I just think you got to go through. You got to not be medication dependent type thing, and I think that's good for mental health, because it does help mentally. And when you're training and all that, when you go for walks, that's a massive thing as well. Yeah. I wasn't a big fan of I was like, do you know what I mean? When you're on that medication, it just makes like a zombie, as you know. But just at all times keep yourself hydrated. You know what I mean? At all times, and I think that's vitally important. That is and I know it sounds mental, but. I tell you what I do, multivitamins every day,
That's good, yeah, that's good.
That helps, believe it or not. I've taken them for a long while now. And do you know what I'm saying? So it's all good, Everyone can get depressed, everyone, nobody's perfect. But it's the way you deal with it, you got to fight the demon instead of chasing the dragon, so to speak. You know what I mean?
Yeah, love it. Well, thank you for sharing. That's appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem.
So my last question for you, Tommy. What is next for you? What is next for the real man? What is next for the Welsh Wrestling Legend?
Well, you know, like I said before, if I win a space, I'd rule the place, brother. But nah, like I said, I don't know what's what, because, you know, I've started getting involved with this football team, to Lewis Welfare now, and I'm enjoying coaching, loving life at the moment. But obviously that don't pay, so I'm hoping to get back into Welsh wrestling as soon as I can, hopefully. I'd like to work with All Star again one day eventually. I didn't touch on this, but I really enjoyed working in All Star. It was fantastic, you know what I mean? But you know, I'd like to go there. I'd like to work other places, you know, up in England somewhere, you know. I'd like to go anywhere, really, anywhere, you know, to show my talent, you know, and perform. But I'm just hoping, to be honest, so things will be up and running, because this COVID has been a nightmare for everyone, really, isn't it? And I started off the year so well, not last year, but and I tell you another guy to look out for as well, Maxie Wilson, very talented kid, very talented lad, because he was the last guy I actually worked with, but he was really, really good. He's the son of, you know, Dominator.
Oh, right, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you know, son of him, but he's very, very good, very, very good. Keep an eye out for him. There's a few lads now out there to keep an eye out for, the ones coming through, like, you know.
Yeah, definitely. Nice. So,
hopefully back in Welsh wrestling before you know it, and back in the ring before you know it. I'll just be happy to just get back in the ring somewhere, anywhere, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So here's a quick message for you promoters, right? If you want a real man in your promotion who can be the baddest motherfucker in the planet, book me and Tommy Dean. You need to do it. You just need to do it.
Sure. For sure, pal.
And you'll make me happy.
Like I said before, anyone that steps in the ring with me, Tommy Dean, you better stock up on bath salts, because by the time I'm finished with you, you're going to be needing them in the bath, all black and blue, and saying, oh my God, I just got humbled by Mean Tommy Dean, and I'll never step in the ring with him because he's too tough. But nah, you know, yeah, definitely. But my advice to people as well, up and coming as youngsters as well, right, is stay away from drugs, stay away from alcohol if you can. Try not to go in a relationship with women, because women can ruin things for you as well. But most importantly, where you're training, look up on the place you train. Look up what the trainer have actually done in wrestling, and look at where you're going first. Do a bit of research first so you know where you're going, because some people go to some schools and they don't know no better, and that's what irritates me a bit as well, because it's a shame, really, and then that's how they develop bad habits. You know what I'm saying? Yep,
definitely. I know. Yeah, I got you. So that's my questions out of the way. You have fan questions. You do.
Yeah.
So let's get on to them. So Pro Wrestling Dad, we all know Pro Wrestling Dad. Go and subscribe to his channel. Quick, cheap plug for him. So, Tommy, do you prefer your convict gimmick or the badass real man gimmick?
The real man gimmick. There was a story behind the convict gimmick, to be honest. So I'm not proud of it, because I've got out of shape and I'm going through a bad time. So I think you look up after my body type thing. So I had my body covered up type thing. And I was in good shape before that, you know, as you know. But,
yeah, I remember seeing, yeah.
But, you know, it's what it is, you know. I done it, we worked for a bit. But, yeah, definitely my Mean Tommy Dean gimmick, definitely 100%. You know, my jeans, my thing, and things like that, you know, I much prefer that. I feel more comfortable in that. I didn't sometimes, if you notice, if I went out with a convict thing, I didn't really feel comfortable, but it's what it was as a character. So I got through that with my character, really. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely. We've all got to do things, you know, try different gimmicks.
Yeah, sometimes you've got to reinvent yourself sometimes, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I've reinvented myself, and this is for the best this time round.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I've been reinventing myself now again, so I'm going to get back in shape, back in the best shape of my life again, and then we'll see what happens. Like, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely, man. Mark Warman, Trimble, throughout your Welsh wrestling career so far, who would you class as your toughest opponent and why?
Bison Broady, without a shadow of a doubt, the most toughest, baddest motherfucker ever walking the planet, the toughest guy you've ever stepped in a ring with, by far. I tell you what, he hit me a few times, he hit me from pillar to post, and I'll tell you another thing as well, like, he hit me so hard, I thought I had to pick my skeleton up from off the floor. He is that tough, very tough. Do you know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of tough wrestlers in Welsh wrestling, believe you me, and I mean real men in Welsh wrestling. Alan tends to pride himself on booking real men and tough guys and only the best. And believe you me, there's a lot of tough guys in Welsh wrestling, but Bison Broady, by far, is the toughest guy I've ever been in a ring with and has ever given me an hiding type thing. I've given him an hiding, don't get me wrong, I'm a man's man, I mean 100% though, man. But Bison Broady, by far.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, for sure.
There we are, Mark. Adam Humphreys. So he's asked if I can ask you, what did Alan actually say?
Hey, what did Alan say, yeah? Oh, he's on him, he's mourning again, is he? Yeah, that's an inside joke. What did Alan say, yeah? All the Welsh boys, you know what I'm saying? But
I'd be interested. Actually, I'd be interested for a little bit then. Last question is from Sean from Instagram. He would like me to ask you about the last minute cancelled match at Celtic Wrestling against Al Psycho due to his amazing build on social media.
Say it again. Say that again.
Right, so he'd like me to ask you about the last minute cancelled match at Celtic Wrestling against Al Psycho due to his amazing build on social media.
I can't even remember that. I'll be honest with you, I don't remember that at all. So I couldn't tell him. I honestly.
No, I believe it. That's all right. No,
was it cancelled or what happened? It must have been someone cancelled or.
I don't know. That's what it says. That was the question. So I don't know.
It's all down to the promoters, isn't it? But I really genuinely, honestly can't remember most things from Celtic, like, you know. But I remember some things. Don't get me wrong, but you know what it's like, innit?
Yeah, too many things, too many memories. That's all good. So that concludes today's Rambles. Tommy.
Thank you for having me on as well, right? I appreciate it. I enjoyed it. You know, it's good chat to sit down and have a chat, you know, and I just want to say, this is me, Tommy Dean, and you are watching CueBall's Bearded Rambles, brother.
There we go. But that's not the outro. That's not the outro. I do the outro.
All right.
So that's all right. Is there anything else you'd like to promote, plug, or anything before we go?
Well, my Instagram, me Tommy Dean _. My Twitter, Real Tommy Dean. Everyone in Wales get to a Welsh Wrestling show. And not only that as well, I'm going to be plugging and endorsing CueBall's Bearded Rambles because it's by far the place to be for a good full-fashion wrestling interview, brother. No, to be honest, you stumped me. And I just want to say for anybody as well who actually likes to read books, total respect. There's a few stories of myself in there with Anthony Thomas, a.k.a. Thomas Bassi. I'd like to plug that. I'd like to also plug the Welsh Wrestling social media platform, Facebook. And also, if you're a football fan as well, Trelewis Welfare, AFC. Go on like that page and you'll see me doing some interviews on there for the football. At my welfare.
They are some belters on there.
Definitely.
So, with that being said, this has been the Welsh Wrestling Legend, the greatest Welsh Wrestling Heavyweight Champion of all time, the fortunate, mean Tommy Dean. Thanks.
Thank you, pal.
That's all right. And I have been the most over wrestler in Wales. No, it's just my cheesy thing. The beer drinking, heavy metal listening, bald-headed broad of CueBall. Stay safe, stay positive. Hashtag
CueBall's Bearded Rambles, brother.
It's hashtag yeah.
Yeah.